Hello, everyone. Coming up here on the Pro Wrestling Show presents the AEW Dynasty Predict Outcome. Coming up, all these matches will be on the card tonight, including two World Championship matches from the men's and the women's. Even a lot going on, tag team titles as well. We're gonna get to the Pro Wrestling Show. We get the Pro Wrestling Show started. The AEW Dynasty Predict Outcome and start right now. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this edition of the Pro Wrestling Show. I'm your host, as always, Kenny Dix here. Glad you joined us on the Pro Wrestling Show. Join in the conversation. The hashtag Pro Wrestling here on Connect and our additional platforms as well. Join in that conversation. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you won't be getting nothing and be notified. All right. We're going to kick things off here with this. Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho, the former AEW, the first AEW champion, will defend the Ring of Honor Championship against Bandito. Chris Jericho, we can find a picture right here of Jericho. Jericho, not Bandito. Chris Jericho right here, getting himself ready to defend his world championship. One thing about Jericho, Jericho knows how to ring in a crowd. I'll say that about Jericho. Jericho wants to embarrass Bandito by putting his mask online against Bandito, going for the title. This is going to be a simple match as well, but we know who's going to win this match. Bandito will win the Ring of Honor Championship and put Chris Jericho out his misery as being Ring of Honor champion. Chris Jericho does not, you can tell right here, does not want to be Ring of Honor champion, but he's been given that task and that honor to become Ring of Honor champion. But Jericho will be dropping the belt to Bandito tonight, so we'll see that coming up later tonight. Also, too, a huge six-man tag team match for the six-man World Trios Championships. Rated FTR, Edge, the Revival take on um, the Death Riders. They'll defend the six-man tag team titles in a match that many people wouldn't expect it to be. We'll see. But there's been problems with rated FTR. We can find it right quick. The problems have been looming as of late. We can find it right quick for you. The rated FTR and the Death Riders went through a lot going on their minds and stuff. Edge was close to winning the world championship till that got robbed from behind. So there's been a lot of problems and answers even this week with the Revival trying to pray out the bribe or the referee. The referee trying to play nice, but there's gonna be some issues right now going on. Look for the Death Riders to defeat Rated FTR because those problems are still not being aired out. The Death Riders might get get some. Look for Rated FTR to split and look at Edge trying to reunite with Christian to take down FTR, who feels like who feel like Edge is taking out that spotlight. Have a good match with him, so we can see the tension and the amount of lives. So how that going to be coming up. So we will see how that's going to go down as well. Well, we move on to another match as Mercedes Monet takes on Julia Hart for the in the Orange Cup. We see Mercedes Monet wants to go for the Orange Cup. You can see that being that way and how there's going to be. I look at this. Look at Mercedes defeating Julia Hart for the first round of the Owen Women's Cup tournament. Saying Monet's gonna have her ducks in a row as well. So we'll see how that's gonna go for Mercedes. For Mercedes, we'll see how Mercedes will do against Julia Hart, but you can tell Mercedes and Julia will go. So um, we'll see how that's gonna trickle next week. what it's going to be. Also, too, the TNT Championship will be online. It's a no time limit, no outside interference. Adam Cole versus Daniel Garcia. The best pure wrestling in the match will happen between these two men. These two men want to see who's the best in their profession. We'll see for the TNT Championship as well. But Adam Cole and Daniel Garcia will fight, and they will fight for the TNT Championship. Well, we can if we find some footage, but we just can't find no footage right now. Stuff. Uh, show Mercedes and stuff. So how that's gonna go down. But look for Daniel Garcia to retain his championship. Also, too, Max Caster will have his open challenge. We don't know who's going to accept that open challenge, but let's be known, Max Caster won't be winning. He could be saying a lot on how that's going to be coming up. Speaking of that, looking forward to seeing this AEW Tag Team titles online. The Hurt Syndicate defend the tag team titles against Big Bill and Brian Keith. This match has been boiling for almost a week, 2 weeks from now and stuff. However that's gonna go, but we'll see on how that's gonna go. Come on in. Come in. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, no. Well, like we said, we saw it here. The Hurt Business went down tonight. And however that's gonna be and good right there. And how that's gonna simulate that week as well. But we saw when the Hurt Business wanted to let's see we can find right now. The Hurt Business looking forward for their match next week. The Hurt Business getting themselves ready and prepared for the match and stuff. But we'll see this match coming up. The Hurt Business was scheduled to meet. Um, got who they were scheduled to meet. They were scheduled to meet the Lance Archer's group and Brian Cage. But Brian Cage has an injury. That's not going to happen. So there have been the replacements, Big Bill and Brian Keith, in the tag team championship match. But the Hurt Business still got issues with MJF. What difference he's going to be playing on what's going on and stuff. So we'll see how that's going to go. What, like I said, look for the Hurt Business to retain the tag team championships this week. It's going to be there. Yeah, right. So we'll see how that's going to be moving forward. Also, too, we heard this week the men's Owen Cup finals will start. Quarterfinal. Will Ospreay taking on Kevin Knight. Kevin Knight, know from New Japan Wrestling as well. Will Ospreay coming into AEW. Similar styles and similar backgrounds. Kevin Knight with high flying ability as well as Will Ospreay. Both men teamed up earlier this week in a tag team match. Looked it impressive as of late. Now I'm going to see that match coming up as well between Ospreay and Kevin Knight. Look for Ospreay to get the victory overnight. Knight just started in AEW. So Knight's got a long way to go before he gets himself into a match in AEW. But look for Will Ospreay win his match over Kevin Knight. Gonna be a tremendous match as well. Speaking of that, we would normally have a triple threat match for the between the Ken Omega and Speedball Mike Bailey and Ricochet. We know they're going to have a match as well. Omega, Ricochet, and Mike Bailey are going to have their triple threat match for their national championship. Look for Kenny Omega. Omega will win that match, or Kenny Omega will set the precedence and probably feud with Ricochet. But Ricochet just got married a couple weeks ago, last week. Ricochet. We'll see That's going to be going forward. So, one match I'm looking forward to seeing. We was have right here before we go. One match I'm looking forward to seeing is the match between um, Tony Storm. If we could have a picture, if we don't have a picture of it, Tony Storm said to defend the AEW Women's Championship. Can we show Tony Storm right quick? We can show it right quick. Guess we ain't got no picture of Tony Storm. We thought we did, but there you go. Tony Storm right here will defend the AEW Women's title against Megan Bayne. Megan Bayne came out of nowhere, and Megan Bayne looking to become a champion in AEW, and she could do it on the expense of Tony Storm. Tony Storm's going to have her work cut out for her when she takes on Megan for the Women's World Championship, and that will happen at AEW. So look forward to seeing that. Look for Tony Storm to win and retain her Women's Championship over Bayne tonight. And finally, the main event. The main event will be for the AEW Championship as Swerve Strickland take on John Moxley. Swerve Strickland got a history of Dynasty events. Last year's Dynasty, Swerve won the World Championship because Swerve be the man to take down Moxley and his crew. This is the time, this is the moment that we could see that being that way. Swerve versus John Moxley, who's been running rough shots in AEW, could get this moment, could get this opportunity. The opportunity could be that way. However, that's going to be. Swerve still has an obstacle in his way as Heyman Page is still in his way trying to get Swerve to but the past, where Swerve wants to move forward from the past and not focus on that. Swerve's trying to focus on the future, the present now, present and future. That's what Swerve needs to do. Look for, hopefully, Swerve win the world championship and probably will run it back to in um Swerve in what's his name? Heyman Page will run it back. I'll probably do a triple threat match. We'll wait and see. That's gonna be. Well, I'm gonna leave you here on the Pro Wrestling Show with Swerve and Moxley. Hopefully, Swerve will win the AEW Championship away from Moxley tonight because we haven't seen that belt in quite some time. Hopefully, we'll probably get some new reprieve. Thanks for watching this edition of Pro Wrestling Show. Since the AEW Dynasty Predict the Outcome preview special. I've been your host, Kendrick Dick, saying so long. We'll see you at Dynasty, and we'll see you when we can. See you later.